Welcome to Hide and Seek TV. It's your boy Hide and Seek. I'm back and I'm about to do a very deep breakdown concerning the NBA. I'm gonna be breaking a lot of stuff down in this video. It's been a minute, y'all. And this right here, like I said, is no predictions, nothing of that nature. This right here is breaking down the blasphemy that is a weapon against us, y'all, and against our reality and against, you know, against our king, man, against the most high. Feel me? So I'm gonna start it out as usual in First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 14. Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem, according to the customs of the heathen, and made themselves uncircumcised, and forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to do the heathen, and were sold to do mischief. Let's delve into Revelation 12 as usual, because everything that they're doing is obviously against the saints, and they already know that the Messiah is upon the earth. We've been breaking this down for the longest, man. In Revelation 12, as it's written, and there appeared a great wonder in heaven, and a woman clothed with the sun and moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she being with child travailing in birth and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads, 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. The dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. Brought forth a man child, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up to God and to his throne. So hence the red dragon having 7 heads, 10 horns, hence 7 times 10 is the 70s. You know what I mean? Remember, Chinese dragon year was 1976, which was the birth year of the Messiah, and I'm gonna get into that in a little bit, in a minute. But I want to show Obama. You know, I always been showing this for the longest. This man is the Antichrist, man. There's no way around it, and I've been breaking it down for the longest. And as you can see, his daughter, his so-called daughter, Sasha, um, graduates from USC, you know, University of Southern California. You know, obviously Natalia Bryant, which is Kobe's daughter, and um she goes to USC, you know what I mean? She goes to USC, and you got LeBron's son about to go to USC. You got Dennis Rodman's son about to join up with Bronny in USC. So notice the Kobe, the Bulls, the MJ theme with Dennis Rodman, and then you got LeBron's son, Bronny, going to USC. Like, it's no way around it. And you see Dennis Rodman's son on the left right there play for the Cougars. You know, the Cougar theme, all that goes to is what? The mixed leopard, the beast. You know what I mean? The one world order system that the Antichrist would, bring forth. And Obama the mixed leopard, mixed with the Ashkenazi Jewish, the whole blasphemy with Kenya, because Kenya is where the true Mount Zion is through his father. You know what I'm saying? And notice, USC anyway, their whole symbol is what? The Trojan. And when you understand the Trojan, it's nothing but the Gentiles' war against what? The Hebrews. The Trojans going into the Greeks, and things of that nature. When you understand how deep all this stuff goes, the Trojan condom was released. The advertisement on TV was released in 1975. Rashi Messiah was born in 1976. So notice in the 70s they was trying to push the childbirth. Remember in 1973 abortion was legalized, just like it was during the time of King Herod, when they was trying to destroy all Hebrew babies 2 and under. They was fearing the Messiah was coming. Notice that the Trojan. Notice how Obama's daughter had to graduate out of USC, the Trojans. Notice LeBron's son got to go through the Trojans. Dennis Rodman's son got to go through the Trojans. Kobe Bryant's son got to go through the Trojans. I mean, son, my bad. Daughter, excuse me. So yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's all in our face, because as it's written in Revelation 13, and it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them, and power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. I hit the mixed leopard, the one world order system that I was just speaking about. You know what I mean? Like the LeBron thing with his son, how they said they're going to play together in the league. So hint the whole thing. You got LeBron and his son. Hint is symbolic, King James. LeBron James, King James is symbolic of the word of God fulfilling, you know what I'm saying? So hint, you got King James with his son, so it's symbolic of the Most High, connecting back with his son, inheriting the kingdom. Now, let me explain this because, as it's written in John 5:23, that all men should honor the Son, even as they honor the Father. He that honoreth not the Son honoreth not the Father which have sent him. Verily, verily, I say unto you, hearing that my word and believeth on him that sent me, him have everlasting life and shall not come into condemnation, but is passed from death unto life. And the whole thing with the blasphemy in this, and I'm going to break this down, if y'all don't mind. Because if you understand USC, as you can see, people who are familiar with my channel, and you know where I'm about to take all of this. Sorry about that. I pulled up the wrong one. But anyway, with USC out in Cali, as you can see, it's on Troutdale Parkway. When you understand what Troutdale, it literally don't mean nothing but with the trout, like fish. And as you can see too, it's by Child's Way. So here, as it's written, become as a child, and ye shall enter into the kingdom. And as you see, it's on Troutdale. So here, like the trout, like the fish. So as it's written, the kingdom of heaven is like a fishing net that is thrown into the water, gathering fish of every kind. So hence the whole theme of gathering all souls to enter into the kingdom. So you see how deep all of this is, how everything, you got the King James symbolism with the father and son, and then how the school is, by Child's Way and by, hit the fish thing, fisherman, the kingdom of heaven. All of this stuff come together. And as I was talking about how the Messiah was born in 1976, because as you can see, as it's written in that day, there should be an altar to the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt, and a pillar at the border thereof to the Lord, and there should be for a sign and for a witness unto the Lord of hosts, which are a shadow of things to come, but the body is of Christ, aka Yahushua. So you see the top of the altar is measured at 76 degrees, and the 7 is the number of the spirit, 6 is the number of flesh. You know what I'm saying? So in Psalms 118:22, as it's written, that that the builders, aka the masons, they removed the headstone because hence the Messiah is the head of the altar. They removed it, therefore it won't foreshadow the kingdom to come. As you can see, no headstone. You know what I'm saying? Psalms 118:22. How deep this goes. And right here, LeBron wears number 6. As you can see, you got number 7 right there. Then as you can see, it's 67 on the clock. Hence, 7 is number of spirit, 6 is number of flesh. When they reverse it, they want the flesh to overpower the spiritual kingdom. You feel me? Talk about it. People who are familiar with this, you remember LeBron had Kyrie. Remember that? And KD played with Steph. So notice this year is deep. KD joined up with Phoenix Suns. Golden State Warriors didn't have Durant. We already know he left a few years ago, some years back more so. And LeBron and Kyrie, remember they played against Golden State 3 times together. You know what I mean? So notice the whole thing, how Kyrie, his name means Lord, and the whole aspect of the Yah theme. And then, you got Kevin Durant, which is deep because remember Durant came from OKC Thunder, which is symbolic of it's symbolic of the Most High's voice being heard throughout all 4 corners of the earth. The signs, the trumpets, the thunder, the saints being aware of the signs, the end times. And as you can see, that's why Kevin Durant now went to the Suns because, as it's written, so they shall fear the name of the Lord from the west, his glory from the rising of the sun. So that's why Durant had to work his way. Notice the teams he went from. Durant went from OKC Thunder, hit the Thunder, the signs of heaven, the end time, kingdom fulfilling. Then he went to the Nets, hit the kingdom of heaven. I mean, he went to Golden State Warriors, hit the whole thing. The saints are refined as gold through the fire, through the persecution and tribulations of the end time. And then he goes to the Nets. The Nets aspect is it's written, the kingdom of heaven. I just showed it with LeBron James. So the kingdom of heaven is as a net fish in the sea. Then now he's on the suns, hit the kingdom of heaven rising as the sun in the west. So notice how Kyrie, followed the same route Cavalier. All Cavalier means is nothing but the son of King James, which is Charles. That's what Cavaliers were, followers of Charles, which is the son of King James, of the scriptures. And then when you go into it too, um, Kyrie then became what? He became a net. I just broke that down. And then you know how Kyrie went from a net into a Maverick. No, he went to a Boston Celtic first. As it's written, when you understand about the Boston Celtics, where he went to the Nets. Remember, the Boston Celtics is symbolic of the leprechaun. It's symbolic of the Messiah going across the rainbow throne of the Most High, gaining the treasures of heaven. And then he became the net, and then he became a Maverick. So you understand the Dallas Mavericks, in Revelation 19:11, it talks about how the saints and the Messiah will ride upon the white horses. So I hit the whole theme of the Maverick, the horse. So notice that symbolism, and notice how now LeBron James just passed by Curry, as a Laker, because remember, as it's written, the kingdom of heaven sit on the rivers of life, hit the lakes. Hit the Messiah is the man out the sea, he's the living waters. So notice how all this stuff comes together. Golden State obviously got the Golden Gate Bridge because the Messiah is our gateway into the kingdom. Notice why Denver had to battle against the Suns, because when you understand Denver is symbolic of Mount Zion, the Mount High city, battling against the Suns. The kingdom of heaven rises like the sun in the west over Mount Zion. That's why you see KD got traded for Mikal Bridges, hit Michael Bridges, hit the bridge. And Michael means one like God. And remember, he's from Philly, hit the 76ers, the 76. So notice it's literally the same matchup as it was back during the bubble. Remember, I broke this down before about the bubble. The bubble was all symbolic. Remember, everyone had to get the shot to enter inside the bubble. And when you understand the bubble, it's so deep, because when you understand that, how deep that goes, the bubble is symbolic of like the aspect of how we will enter into the dome. We will enter into the glass city of heaven. Remember on the Wizard of Oz, remember they was entering into the glass city of heaven. And the whole theme, the crystal glass of heaven. The beautiful glass city. You know what I'm saying? And when you understand how deep that is, and that whole thing was aspect of that. Mount Sinai literally had the same longitude and latitude as Orlando. That's why the bubble had to be in Orlando. Orlando got the magic, and the spiritual works of the Holy Spirit, the magic, blasphemy. They each call it magic. But notice it's the same matchup, Boston versus Heat. The Heat is all symbolic again, like I said before, of the fire. The aspect is it's written like the Messiah, like he's burnt in the furnace, because in the tribulations, he's with us now. And then you got the Lakers battling against Denver again, hit the Mount Zion thing, the river of life. You see how, you know what I mean? Hit Boston just had to beat the 76ers, 76. And then the Messiah, I just broke that down with the leprechaun aspect. Hint why Jason Tatum is from St. Louis. Remember, I broke this down before. How St. Louis, remember, I broke it down. When you translate praise to the Lord, it becomes Louis eternal. Remember, I just showed it with Golden State, how he is our bridge, our gate into the kingdom. Hint through St. Louis, you can go all the way to California on the ocean, on the Pacific Ocean. Because the kingdom rises like the sun in the west. It rises like the west. That's why St. Louis leads you all the way to the west coast, as far as you can go. Wow. Remember last year when Jason Tatum beat the Bucks? Remember he dropped what was it, like 40 something against the Bucks? And remember they had that shooting, that massacre out there in Milwaukee? Because you understand the buck can't, as we already know, we're in the spiritual wilderness. So the buck and deer is all symbolic of the saints going through the signs in the wilderness. We're like the deer. You know what I'm saying? Remember during the time of Israel, during the time when he was going to the Exodus and they was entering into the kingdom, and the Most High was sending the fiery serpents, judging the wicked, that wouldn't want to repent and wouldn't want to let go of the ways of spiritual Egypt that they was in. You know what I'm saying? So hit that whole thing right there with Jason Tatum and everything, y'all. This is deep. You remember he dropped 51 a day on Mother's Day at that. Remember Mother's Day is nothing but worshiping of Nimrod and his mother Semiramis. So you already know the whole thing, how all that go with how he dropped 51. Remember that all going to the time too of how David, remember he was doing a repentance for his situation with Bathsheba, Solomon's mother. So notice how all that stuff comes together, man. The 51 hit the aspect anyway of the mother. The reason why I brought that up, hit the whole aspect anyway of the mother Jerusalem. The repenting to return to mother Jerusalem. It's all blasphemy, man. Notice that was the only game today. The 76 and the Celtic, the Leprechaun theme. You see how deep this all goes, man. Look at this right here. Notice the 76 on the clock. And you know this, remember Golden State was a 6 seed and the Lakers was a 7 seed. Hit the 7-6. And as you can see, Dennis Schroeder right there is number 17, hit 1-7, and LeBron wears 6, hit 1-7-6. Look at this.
Shot clock at 6.
Look at that shot clock at 6. Wow, as soon as I said it. So look at the 7, and then you see the 7 on the shot clock.
Clock at 6. Russell looking. Curry with the steal. Warriors racing. James running it down and deflects it. Goes diving over the first row.
Notice that had to happen while it was 76 on 7-6 clock, and then notice the 27-6, and then the shooter wears 17, 1-7-6 with LeBron. And the ref just had 27. Let's do it again. LeBron wears 6 for people who ain't familiar. Come on, y'all. Remember, we just witnessed. Remember, we just witnessed this, y'all. You know what I mean? I'm not just talking here. You feel me? You know what I mean? I'm not just sitting here talking, just to talk. Now, I done got almost 500 videos. I've been talking about 500 times on the video recorded. You heard me? So it's like, excuse me. That was my bad Louisiana accent impersonation. I've been around a lot of people. My bad, y'all. I ain't trying to go off and digress, but anyway, like I said, we didn't witness this. You know what I mean? So you got Klay Thompson. Remember, he's in Golden State. Now let's take it deep. Remember the Space Jam 2 drop. Remember when LeBron James had to go get his son out the Matrix. Remember, as it's written in Exodus 34:19, the Most High said, "Those who escape the Matrix are of his kindred, are his own." In Exodus 34:19, and the Space Jam, the war, as it's written, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence daily. You know what I mean? So when you understand Klay Thompson, remember he was on the Space Jam movie. Remember he was one of the monsters. Anthony Davis, one of the monsters. Damian Lillard, one of the monsters. Remember this was the only year that two players since like '05 that was averaging 30 plus didn't make the playoffs. Remember it was Damian Lillard and Luka and Lewis and Damian. Remember Damian on the Omen movie was Lucifer. I'm gonna get in that in a minute. You know what I mean? So let's talk about it. Let's get deep. Because when you understand that the Space Jam movie, remember the Space Jam monsters, remember I broke it down before, it was like the whole aspect. Remember they was like unconscious and like the souls within was filled with darkness. Remember like the Us movie was battling, it was the physical and the spiritual realm battling against each other. Overcoming the doppelganger thing. You know what I'm saying? Overcoming the one that's trapped in the dark. The light the light surface you versus the depths, the dark you. You know what I mean? So think about how deep that goes, like how they had that whole thing, that whole complex with this. So remember as well, Andrew Wiggins, remember he was remember they said he was out because of his father had health issues. Remember that. Remember he was gone for a portion of the year, Andrew Wiggins. And we understand the name Wig, Wig, remember it all derives out of Lewis as well. Because wig, remember it don't mean nothing but to be a judge. Remember back in the old court days, they used to wear wigs. They were the big wig. It was to be a judge. So the Wiggins, remember that's why Golden State was missing Andrew Wiggins. They were missing Lewis. Notice Kyrie and Luca had to join together. Lord, Kyrie mean Lord, and Luca hit Lewis on the white horses, and they both, Maverick, and they both missed the playoffs. You see how deep that goes. Now I'm gonna break this down on y'all. Remember Gary Payton, the second. Everybody know Gary Payton the second. Remember he was with Golden State, won that title against Boston. Was impacting the defensive specialist. You know what I'm saying? And you had him. And after that, remember he left Golden State, but he returned. Let's talk about this. Returning back to the Golden State. Remember, as it's written in the scriptures, even the elect shall depart from the faith. Remember that. Let's talk about that. So you understand about Damian Lillard? Remember I said the Dame. As a matter of fact, let me show y'all something. Let me show you. Listen to this right here. Pay attention. This is old, and I was actually like top 2 in the world when I used to be playing 2K heavy back during this time. But this is the current generation. Remember, the next generation was Zion. I'm gonna show that too. But no, it's current generation. Next generation was showing the kingdom to come. Current was the time we're living in. So notice how they was showing a lot of Dame. Want you to be like Dame.
Decided it's me. Everything is game? Nah. Everything is dang.
What time is it?
It's dang time.
What a five-shot. 3, Lillard!
Star, averaging 24.5 points per.
Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard is correct.
See how they want everything to be like Dame. Lucifer. You see all the pyramid altar blasphemy that was through the video. Let me show y'all this right here. This was showing the coming of the new kingdom. That Lewis was already upon the earth since 1976. Look at this. I just read it in Revelation 12.
It is foretold. Greatness will walk among us.
See the wilderness, and they showed the moon under the feet theme in the wilderness. See the demon, the dragon.
One
See it?
unlike the rest.
Baby on the womb.
One of one.
You see how deep this goes. That's the reason why I brought this up, because hint the whole thing how Gary Payton, remember his father, if you know about Gary Payton, remember he was the glove. And how did they like to cover the hand, the God hand. They love to wear the Masonic glove. They love to cover the hand. Remember he played for the Sonic, hint the whole theme of the Great Thunder. You know what I'm saying? The Sonics, it deals with high vibration. But hint how, he joined up with Dame, hint the blaze don't mean nothing but what? To set fire, the path of hell. Hint blazing. They like to blaze their trail. Hint how, you got Gary Payton, who went to the Blazers, left the Warriors over money, and he joined up with Dame on the Blazers. And then you got LeBron's son, who was a Blazer. Yeah. Remember on the Space Jam 2 movie, he was like, hold on. His son was like, I want to be this. Like, he like, no, you ain't going to do that. He had to go save his son from the world that he didn't know he entered. Hit the Blazer. You know what I mean? Like, all in our face. Right? Because the Hellblazers movie in 2022, you had Bill, remember I broke that down, how Bill is short for William in Exodus 3:14. The Most High said his name is I am that I am, hit the will of I am William. You know what I mean? You know, Tony Todd, remember he played Candyman, which was all symbolic of the Messiah leading us into the land of milk and honey. Remember, I broke it down by Edward is always connected to William, always connected to Lewis. Remember how Mr. Ed and the Talking Horse, Mr. Ed the Talking Horse's owner was William. Remember Lewis and Edward met each other in jail on Ant-Man? Like, it goes on and on. Remember J. Cole have the alter ego kill Edward. Man. But the whole theme of all of this, like it all come together and it's all about who got the eyes to see and ears to hear, man. And as it's as it's written, you know, the Hellblazers all about a movie about basically how the Messiah theme with you know, they were a cult that was conjuring demons, unleashing hell on a small town because it was all symbolic of how hell is gonna be unleashed, you know, upon the wicked. And the blazer. That's why the Trailblazers use the spiral as their logo because hence the whole theme is the great spiral, the great loop leading you into the everlasting judgment. And it's Portland. And hence the whole theme, you know, as it goes, the wicked shall be turned into hell and all the nations that forgot God. The wicked shall be turned into hell. And notice how he returned back to Golden State. I'm going to get to him in a second. I don't want to keep lingering. I want to keep it rolling. Remember, on Creed, remember he fought Dame. Remember they fought at the 76 arena. Remember I broke that down. I showed that before. Remember Dame came out of jail like, yo, I'm ready to battle. Remember as it's written, the enemy shall come out of the pit. It shall be released for a season. And he would deceive all the nations again after the 1,000-year reign of, you know, Louis Eternal and his followers, his saints, his army. Satan would be like, yo, remember who we were. Remember who you are, Simba. All Mufasa was the Babylonian lion, Obama, the Leo, speaking under Simba, trying to deceive and to go to war against Scar. Remember, Scar was all symbolic of Lewis, who was crucified theme. That's how deep this stuff goes, man, and it's no joke. If you've seen the movie Infinite with Mark Wahlberg and Chiwetel Ejiofor, remember Chiwetel Ejiofor was symbolic of Obama and Mark Wahlberg. They had to use the Gentile, the so-called white man, but it was symbolic of Louis Eternal, the Lamb returning generation to generation. And the whole thing, remember he was like, I remember we've been warned since the beginning of time. You just don't remember me because every time you live in a new life, coming in and knowing who you are, remember me. So look how deep this is. Remember, Dame came out, he was old because hit the old serpent, you know what I mean? And the Damian theme is the Omen, you know what I'm saying? That's why they dropped that in 1976, and they knew that the Messiah came on the earth. That's why the Omen movie, the first one, came out in 1976, you know? And William was one of the actors on the film. Remember back like a couple years ago, I think this is when the Bucks won the title. Either it was the year they just won the title or the year they were going to win. Remember they had beat the Heat. Remember they beat the Heat 144-97. Hit the 144. And you know how the Bucks just lost to the Heat now. But remember the 144 hit the 144K. And then the Heat thing represents the great fire. Remember as it's written in Zechariah 13, ye shall go through the fire. Ain't nothing new under the sun. That's why on Boston Celtics, Jaylen Brown is wearing the mask. Remember, Ja Morant was wearing it too. And yeah. But you see Jaylen Brown wearing the mask because as it's written in Psalms 27:8, when thou saidest, seek ye my face, my heart said unto thee, thy face, Lord, will I seek. You know what I'm saying? That's why he's wearing the mask, why he's on the Celtics with Jason Tatum from St. Louis. Let's get back on Gary Payton. Remember I was talking about how he went from a Blazer, Notice you got 617 on the clock, 67. Look what happens.
It's like he had something in his mouth or his mouth was.
See how when it's 6-7 on the clock, he got to throw up. He run to the locker room to throw up. Because remember, he went from being on the path of hell to returning back with the Golden State Warriors. Because at that whole thing, remember as it's written, so then because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spit thee out my mouth. I will vomit thee out my mouth. Notice why he said he had to go vomit while 6-7 was on the clock. It's that deep, y'all. Remember, LeBron James said, if you ever see me fighting in the forest with a grizzly bear, fighting in the forest with a grizzly bear, help the bear. You remember that comes back from mystical. Hit the whole thing of the bear aspect of fighting the bear. Remember Putin, I can get the image, but remember Putin has shared the Yahushua Payton, the so-called Black Messiah image. Showing how Lewis truly looked, man. Remember I showed it before in the videos prior. This one in my Messiah Revealed series I put in the comment section below. But hit the whole thing with the aspect, you already know that he's a man of color. We already know that by now. But just think about that, like how Putin, revealed that. And when you understand Russia and the scriptures, the Gog and Magog, it's their symbol is what? The great bear. That's why Ja Morant hit Yah and, got Memphis Grizzlies. It's symbolic of like Memphis, Egypt, and the whole aspect of how the Messiah is born in the spiritual Egypt that we're in. You know what I'm saying? Hit the whole thing. That's why he keeps showing the gun over and over. Because hit the word of God is as the sword. Remember the Messiah said, I come to bring a sword to divide, not to unify. So hit the whole thing. Remember they had that movie. Notice how LeBron battles against the Grizzly, King James battling against the Bears, the Grizzly Bears. And then you notice how you had that movie Cocaine Bear come out. Because, the whole theme of the cocaine, remember I broke that down before, it's all symbolic of the rock. Remember the Messiah is the living rock. We are living stones, as is written. Ye also, as living stones, are built up a spiritual house and holy priesthood to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to God by Louis Eternal. So hit the whole thing, man. The whole aspect of the bear being high on the stone, on the rock. Blasphemy. As it's written, him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my God. And the whole aspect being a pillar in the temple of the altars. You see how deep this goes. As it's written, the bear would devour much flesh. In Daniel 7:5. Talking about Russia rising up to go to war against the saints. Let's get deep right quick, y'all. And notice lately you've been seeing a lot of like Cali in the sports, winning sports, the LA Rams. And the Rams is represented by the sheep of God. You remember you got Matthew Stafford and the staff, the rod, the shepherd amongst the Rams, amongst the sheep. Remember on the Black Jesus show, remember he was in California. It's all symbolic. They use California because here it's all symbolic of how we are in the wilderness, the desert thing. Preparing to enter into the kingdom. Showing that the Son of Man is amongst us. That's why you see how LA Lakers, rose up. You notice how everything Cali is like rising up. You feel what I'm saying? Notice this right here. It's all in our face. All about who got the eyes to see and the ears to hear. Look at this. I know it's kind of hard. I know it's kind of hard to see, but my bad, y'all. I know it's hard to see, but let me see. Let me get this together. My bad, y'all. I know it's hard to see right there. As you can see, you got that 44. You see that number right there that say contact statement from the Memphis Grizzlies. What is it? It say 440-7115. Hit the 44. And notice he's inside of the car with the gun too, because remember I broke this down billions of times. You know, Kara don't mean nothing but what? The name meaning nothing but the anointed Messiah. Remember I said how Ka means soul, Ra means light. And you know, that's why they always love to destroy the cars, you know what I'm saying? The music videos, etc. And as you see, he got the gun while he's inside the car, flashing it. And when you understand, hit the Kara, the whole thing. And know Morant, that's why his daughter name is Kari. Because hint Ja with Kara. And you see he inside the car flashing the gun with the 44 right there on the number contact for the Memphis Grizzlies. Because the 44 all deals with the Ark of the Covenant. Remember I was talking about how the Messiah is the head ruler. That's why Busta Rhymes don't break your neck. Got 44 on the Cadillac right there, on the license plate. Because they want to remove him from being the headstone. The Ark of the Covenant is all symbolic of who will rule. You know, it deals with law. Will Satan law prevail, or will Lewis eternal law prevail? Feel what I'm saying? So all of this stuff is all in our face, man. It's all about who got the eyes to see and ears to hear. But I'm actually going to end that right here. Thank you for watching Hide and Seek TV. Much more is coming, man. Peace.